Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I am a bit late making this video, but I did decide for doing so just in case there are people who do not visit the forum and don't really watch too many other YouTube channels and still would definitely benefit from it, because this is something that, you know, you should be aware of. And I do think just basically it's a PSA type of video here, because some other YouTubers obviously have covered this already. But yeah, if you don't follow them or you don't follow the forum, then you might still be unaware. So I did decide to basically make a video about this, and that is the fact that Scrap Store is coming in late January. And there's this entire post and describing why there wasn't a Scrap Store and why the event was run the way it was, basically. And I think they would have gotten away with it just fine if there was not all that extra scrap coming to us from the graded banquet crystals, which I still think was a very kind of like a silly and unnecessary decision. I think scrap should not be included in those crystals, but it is, and therefore there will be people with millions and millions and millions of extra scrap now, especially if you do go quite hard with these. And that means that you do have to spend quite significantly more time to redeem these. Ironically, yesterday, you know, just few hours before this announcement, I actually did end up spending quite a bit of time, you know, just spending my scrap and collecting the items that I need. And the reason behind this, and I completely understand it and I relate to it as one of the more veteran players in Milestones of Champions. I remember Rocket's Scrapyard event as one of my favorite events ever, because it was well before the stores were a common thing, and this is like a predecessor to the stores, where effectively it was a store, just where you needed to spend a bit more time to enter the quest and go and pick a reward which you want in game quest type of scenario without fighting. And now obviously, without a doubt, store is more time efficient and store is more convenient, but it was kind of like a throwback event, which I do, you know, again, like, enjoy, agree with. And I think it would have went fine if Kabam had kept us at the 40 or so entries. Then I think, you know, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal. But now when people do get extra millions in scrap, you know, you do need to spend significant time claiming the rewards, which can be extremely tedious. So the point is that if you do need the items right now, then you can go and use your scrap as you please. But the most important thing to take away from this post and this announcement is that towards the end of the January, they will be bringing Scrap Store to MCOC, and you will be able to spend your scrap basically effortlessly, immediately, in a more convenient and quick way. So if the time is a limiting factor and you do not desperately need those items from the scrap quest that you can acquire right now, you can safely save your scrap. It's not going to go anywhere, and you can spend it towards the end of January on the items that you need. And I will do that. I will definitely keep, at the very least, you know, a portion of my scrap for end of the January, where I will decide whether I need tier 12 or tier 5 basics or something else, and use it then. So it is, I think, you know, a positive, good thing that Kabam is doing here. And again, I think this is only becoming a problem because Kabam made it a problem. I think if we got like our 2-point-something million scrap as max, and it wouldn't have been as big of a problem, because entering that quest 40 times, which takes, you know, basically like less than a minute over the course of 4 weeks, would not have been a problem. But now when you do get additional huge amounts of scrap from the Great Banquet Crystals, it is increasingly becoming bigger and bigger issue, where you need to spend more and more time. And with that, you know, it's again one of those odd situations where I don't really want to blame Kabam for what they did, because I actually like that they brought back this event. And it you know, it was my favorite event pretty much of all time up until now, or one of my favorite events, and I was quite happy to see it back. And I think it's still a good event in its current iteration, but obviously nobody can deny that store is more time efficient. So the kind of like disconnect here is the fact that, you know, I don't think it was a good idea to put in scrap in these Greater Banquet Crystals. If they hadn't put in scrap in Greater Banquet Crystals, I don't think they would have done this either, or they would have as big of a need to do this more specifically. But since they did that, which again, I don't think scrap should be in Greater Banquet Crystals, but since they put it in there, this is going to be like a much better way for players to spend their scrap. And it's cool. It's good. It's a positive news. So again, the most important thing that you need to take away from this is that if you are strapped for time, if you do not want to spend X amount of time claiming the rewards from the scrap event quest, you can just wait till end of January. Kabam will bring us a scrap store, and you will be able to spend your scrap in the store in much more time efficient way. It will not expire. So basically you kind of have more time to use your scrap overall, and also an easier way how to offload it. So this one is a weird one. I would say it's a W for Kabam, but again, it's a W that comes from an L that they themselves caused, in my opinion, by adding scrap integrated banquet crystal. So it's kind of like a typical Kabam blundery type of thing, but again, doing this is definitely much better than not doing it. So yay, W, I guess. Let me know what you guys think about this entire situation, and definitely pass this video around to your teammates so they are aware as well that they do not have to spend all their scrap before end of the December. See you soon, guys.
Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next